So it's not actually an eternal snake. That moves that way, that moves that way, and they seem to cross over, but they're not. They're actually travelling in a direction. That's what energy does. So the Father, who is all heart, and I've shown it as a Fibonacci spiral, and this is the halo wave that comes out of a magnet, perpendicular to the original flow, which I've got here. Energy comes up, loops past each other, and then comes out sideways, like your arms. Like if you stick your arms out, that's the Father in the bosom position. So, energy, he was brought forth as with labour pains. So I've already explained that God is energy, and that electricity, when you bunch up a pile of halo waves together, they create a Lorentz force contraction in women, or it'll create a Lorentz force contraction in a railgun. So I was brought forth as with labour pains means a massive build-up of halo waves, which is EM field rings that you see in pictures of electromagnetism, and they show you rings of magnetism. That's actually the Lorentz force shape. And when a woman gives birth, she says it feels like, you know, she's being either grabbed from both sides and squeezed, or like a snake coiled around her. And that would be because of the up and down movement of energy, like a ringing of something or a squeezing of something. If you are brought forth as with labour pains, it means electrical contractions pushed you out of a body. So, basically, the Father grabbed a hold of his innards, because you can grab them with your hands, and here we have a halo wave, where God would have grabbed hold of himself, because he is energy, and literally pulled Jesus from him, like that, and pushed him away there. That's just a couple of double helixes just to grab you together. But he's connected by this. This is the umbilical cord that wraps around the Father and the Son. So you're looking at that, which I guess if it was like that is very Egyptian. So if you look at any leaves, you'll see that when they first bud, they grow like that. The Father and the Son in the bosom position, because that is energy movement. So basically God grabbed hold of himself and pulled Jesus from him as with labour pains. So back to the scripture. I was brought forth as with labour pains, when there were no springs heavily charged with water, before the mountains themselves have been settled down. So there's nobody alive here. Okay? Nobody. There's no people, there's no men, there's definitely no women. Before these mountains themselves had been settled down ahead of the hills, I was brought forth as with labour pains. And basically God just kept grabbing and pulling, and if you set up electromagnetic rings and crush them downwards, which is what a railgun does, and then you put something in there, you can fire energy out. And when the sun gives out a massive solar flare, that's basically what just happened. There was a build-up of energy, a heteromach forming, all of it pushed together at the surface like a bullseye, which then shoots energy out, which is what the Father did with Jesus to separate them both. So they are one, because they are connected. That's why nobody knows the Son like the Father, and nobody knows the Father like the Son, because there is an energy being, both of them connected at the chest, heart to heart, which is what this is. It's the halo wave of God, which says, there's the halo wave, there's his head, there's his two arms, and then from this, which he's pulled himself, is another halo wave, which links in. This is the Father and the Son in the bosom position, because they are energy. And this is how all energy travels. So the Father and the Son are one, because they are connected here to here. I could draw it in many ways. You can sit there and do that, or a butterfly, except with my really awful. But eventually, you have to come to the realisation that energy wraps around itself, and that's how you get the Father and the Son relationship. glasses off, that's why I'm dying here. Before the mountains, blah, blah, blah. When he had not yet made the mountains and the earth and the open spaces and the first part of the dust masses of the productive land. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he decreed a circle upon the face of the watery deep. And a face has a head, so it's round. And a circle upon the face of a head is where we used to live before it all broke up and moved around. So, when he as yet had not made the earth and the open spaces and the first part of the dust masses of the productive land. So, the Father, or the Son, the earth hadn't even been made. So, this is a clear case here. And it's talking about wisdom. Okay, so we need to bring that right in. Wisdom is produced. But that means Jesus, which then links to everything else. So some people have said that wisdom is a woman. And so this can't be Jesus, because wisdom in Solomon is portrayed as a woman, and some word like or something like that, I have been told, means female and feminine and all the rest of it. And that's all very funny, because I think we'll just go with real scripture and just why wisdom is not a woman. So first off, we'll just talk about Genesis 3:13. I don't even need to go to it. Who was deceived? A man or a woman? Yeah, the woman was deceived. So there is not a chance wisdom is female. No matter how many people want to say, well, God's a lady and blah, blah, blah. No, he's a male figure who gave birth. So that's where all these other nonsense, rubbish stories have come from. So the woman was deceived. Men weren't. So wisdom isn't a woman. And then I can go to Corinthians 1:30. You would think I'd have more pages here. Second Bridges. Corinthians 1:30. But it is due to him that you are in union with Jesus Christ, who has become to us wisdom from God. So, right there in Corinthians 1:30, it said, but it is due to him that you are in union with Jesus Christ, who has become to us wisdom from God. So, wisdom is proven to be Jesus, due to the fact that the woman was deceived. And who cares what Solomon said? We're talking to the disciples here, who actually met Jesus. So, the Father and the Son are one because they are attached, because they are energy, and energy can never truly be separated from itself. It can only be stretched, because the underlying universe has a massive electromagnetic field, and this is the wires down which all energy travels. We have wires and we have pipes. Oh, excuse me, that's such a dry throat. We have wires for electricity, we have pipes for water, we have, pipes for things that we want to put things down, tunnels for trains. So for me to say that the electromagnetic field is what carries the energy, and for people to disagree with me saying it's a stupid thing to say, or that it can't be real, is ridiculous. That's God's way of doing things. EM field, that's where the electricity is. The electricity creates the EM field, and then the electricity travels anywhere it wants within the EM field. Understand? It means when you light a flame, that energy will now transfer through the EM field, which is why it has to travel in a flaming double helix figure 8, vibrating-y, flamey wave, is because it has to. That's energy moving upwards through the field. That's how it works. So, Yeah. Wisdom is Jesus. I'm having a bad day today. I should have been at work and half the job got cancelled. So, what do you do? Not put that. So the Father and the Son are one, which is energy that has been pulled and pushed away, but wants to pull back. So we have two energy beings, but the Father and the Son are one because they're literally connected heart to heart. Jesus is birthed by the Father. I show that wisdom was birthed as with labour pains, which, as every woman knows, isn't nice, and I really don't think that's anything to do. You can't birth wisdom with pain in a general form, but you could give birth and it would hurt to another being. But you loved that being so much you didn't care about the pain. So, you know, you're like, it's my baby. And that's what Jesus is to the Father. And that's why he's in the bosom position. And we'll stem from Jesus, because apart from him, nothing came into existence. And that's about it. All right. Thanks very much. My name is Lee. I follow the Christ. And I'm trying to teach you all about energy and the fact that energy is alive. And God is energy, as shown by what's coming out of his hand in Habakkuk 3:4, original Hebrew. Thanks a lot. Bye.